Hey everybody, it's Brady here. I'm sitting here with Jake and we're going to try something new for the first time ever. And I don't know how it's going to go or how long it is going to go, but Jake and I had the privilege to sit down with all of the store leaders, a handful of sales partners, some district leaders when we were in Lakeville earlier this fall. And it's just a great opportunity to talk to all of you guys about what's going on, where the challenges are at in the field, and what you guys think we can do better. And we walked away from that event with 48 different suggestions, and recently had the idea that if we've got 48 suggestions, what would normally happen is a few months would go by and we'd get a nice spreadsheet, right, Jake? We'd put it all in. Well, actually,
kind of look like this.
We do have a spreadsheet, and so we would take a look at all those suggestions and then we'd figure out, okay, what do we do with them? And then we'd send out an email with responses. But the idea was, let's put a couple of chairs in front of a nice green screen and talk about those responses so we can have a little dialogue about it. So I'd like to welcome Jake Miller, our integrator and chief operating officer, and maybe you'd like to say something, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thank you for the feedback. I think first and foremost, to get 48 issues that candid in Lakeville, that was a new experience for me, so something I was proud to kind of be a part of. Brady's been doing this, like he said, for a few years, but 48 different things we can do better. I think we've had a lot of great progress on really probably over half of them at this point. We've got some parked in certain areas, and there's certain things we found out that have some barriers before we can do them. So I'm really excited for the feedback that we did get. I'm excited to let you guys know what kind of progress we've made, and I think I'm ready to just kind of use my cheat sheet here to make sure that I can remember everything that everyone's done to help get these across the finish line, from the the fit department, from the happiness team, from the district leaders, some of the things you guys are doing out in the store. Been a lot of progress from a lot of different angles, so bear with me while I look at my sheet of paper to make sure I'm giving people the proper credit, but I'm excited to share kind of some of the successes with you guys.
Well, Jake, I think we should just get started and jump right in. I was looking at the list a little bit, and I have to say, 48 issues. However, I want to start on issue 15.
15. Okay.
15, brought up by Minnesota, Southwest, North Dakota, Northeast. Two districts actually mentioned it. Libre.
Libre.
Libre
More
office.
like see ya.
Oh, that was good. Libre was, so nobody likes it. When asked if anybody liked any feature, there was crickets in the room. So maybe you can tell us what we did with that issue.
Yeah, guys, absolutely. Libre was this old, weird, antiquated, at best case, like being polite, Microsoft Excel knockoff. The Fit team, they went out and they spent $34,000. We just looked at that number to make sure no one ever saw Libre again. And that Microsoft Excel, which all of our reporting kind of tailors around, RQ directly exports out to Excel, and just general more familiarity with Excel, is on every computer that's being used, whether you're a sales partner, a store leader, an inventory assistant, on our graphic design team. Everyone's got Excel. Libre is gone. It was a pain point for far too long, but thank you guys again for bringing that up. Not only did Minnesota Southwest and North Dakota Northeast talk about it, I think it pretty much came up in every single breakout, so we moved quickly. As of November, the Fit team had, I would say, at least 90% of the computers, and should be all the way rolled out was all the way rolled out by the end of 2017.
That's awesome. And I really, on that issue, I want to express kind of my apologies to the team. That was something I really felt that there was a kind of a lost in translation kind of miscommunication when I was talking to the district leader teams in July of 2016. I had kind of committed that would go away. And with a lot of different things that came up at the end of that year, then the security push that we had at the beginning of 2017, then an acquisition, I dropped the ball and didn't hold ourselves accountable to that. So really, really proud of Jonathan and his Fit team for getting that gone. We spent the money, and it's an issue that we don't have to remember. So let's jump right in, Jake. And number one here was an issue on device returns. Cellcom did not previously sell return devices, maybe return them to corporate. Kind of, we've got this in yellow right now, so not necessarily at any definitive point, but just wanted to talk about where we're at with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one really, really unique opportunity of this year's breakout is that we did just undergo such a major acquisition, adding 20 stores in. So we're kind of at this cool spot where BeMobile's been a successful company for, 15, 16, 17 years now?
Yeah.
Cellcom was a wildly successful company for 25 years, so we did some things well. We know Cellcom does some things well, so the fact we get access to those ideas was really cool this year. So, with return devices, guys, I know that is always a challenge. We obviously hold up our worry-free guarantee as part of our marketing strategy within 14 days. We do keep that in store. We trust what you guys are doing in store right now. However, we are researching what pros and cons might be out there. Using return process control usually protects us. If we're doing a good job inspecting those devices, we kind of like taking that administrative step out. That being said, if there's a way to do it better, we're going to spend some more time once we get out of Q4, when we're filming this video, to kind of look at what the logistics might look.
Sure.
As making a change on
So
something like that.
you might change it, you might keep it. You're not certain yet, but it's on the radar.
Right, absolutely.
Good. Number 2, commission policy. This was something that was there was some frustration about losing employees early when they turned in their notice because of that policy that says if an employee doesn't work their full month, then they don't get the commissions from that month. And that was creating some serious pain points and some frustration from one of the districts out in Minnesota. And where are we at there?
Yeah, so give you guys just framework. Those of you that haven't heard this story, we never used, or up until probably maybe 2.5, 3 years ago, we added this policy in place because what we would find is many store leaders would just get left hanging on the 7th of the month, on the 13th of the month, right in the middle of a schedule. So we kind of made it that to earn commissions in our company, you have to complete a full month. That way you're exposed to commission reconciliation adjustments, chargebacks. That way there's not any advantage there. Basically, the commissions aren't earned until an entire month is worked, when those things can take place. So that was kind of the reason we instituted that. Plus, it also has helped a little bit to keep that turnover a little more predictable, and it's also kept some people through. It's really forced people to kind of give 2-week notices as opposed to getting to the 30th and saying, see you later. So that's kind of where we came from on that. We have not made a change on that policy yet. Again, it's something we'll probably continue to look at, but for now we're going to keep using that with that predictable turnover and just making sure that we're educating our employees kind of on the front end. Hey, to earn commissions, you have to work a month because your teammates, there's commission reconciliation adjustments that can take place. Chargebacks can happen. To have somebody who's leaving get an advantage the rest of your team doesn't have is kind of a hard thing for us from a corporate standpoint to feel good about. So
Sure. So just so I'm clear, we are not making a change in the way we have been doing it. When talking with other people, we're going to continue the course, and if a sales partner doesn't work a full month, then they don't earn those commissions. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. And that's, guys, we recognize when turnover does happen, it's hard. I mean, it's hard regardless of it's mid-month, if it's on the 30th and the 1st. And I know this was kind of similar near the acquisition kind of time frame where some of that, where there was so much information flow and might not have been very well stated on the front end by us. So if there was if this policy did promote some of those unfortunate turnovers to anyone in the 20-store acquisition we did, we know that hurts. We know this answer doesn't necessarily can go back and change that, but hopefully just give you a little background on how we got there.
Good. Number 3, another one from the Minnesota group. Customers who have premium messaging blocked are unable to set up and be rewarded.
Yeah, so guys, at the time you're going to be watching this video, Be Rewarded will no longer be a KPI. I know there's been a whole bunch of challenges on that. We have moved away from Be Rewarded as an actual KPI metric. Now we're still going to utilize the service. We got a huge base of customers out there that we're going to continue to market to through email and text message, but we're no longer going to be tracking signups like that. The marketing team did a great job in 2017 getting us that app out there, which we're going to continue to move that way. We've rolled out 59 store Facebooks to you that are far cheaper than what we were using Be Rewarded for. So we're going to continue to kind of rely on just some local organic marketing and hopefully more effective marketing. But yeah, I know there's a ton of challenges with Be Rewarded, guys. It was really to watch it grow from where it was in 2015 to where we finished when it was, we were doing, I think, over 50, 60, 70% of our contracts had a Be Rewarded attachment to it. So tremendous execution, guys. I know with any KPI, if there's system challenges, that's hard. But again, appreciate the feedback on there.
So now be more aggressive with the BeMobile app, and that will be the metric more so than Be Rewarded is a takeaway, right?
Yeah, absolutely. BeMobile app, and continue to communicate with your district leaders to get more, I'd say, community-based stuff on those Facebook pages now that we have that situation in place, which I can guarantee you we will never have a Facebook post submitted KPI. We're going to be making it, again, more things you guys can control on KPIs.
Great. Probably good news. Number 4, previous model inventory levels. So frustration around not having enough of the previous year flagship models. The example was around the iPhone 7 and the Galaxy S7 in 2017 as the 8 and the Galaxy S8 were coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that's kind of it's been weird to watch this evolve from the days of 2-year contract to device payment. I will say one thing is we're always going to be very, very aggressive on flagship devices, current flagship devices. I look at what we just went through with iPhone 8, iPhone 10, the Note 8. I mean, really, we're kind of thinking, we do a lot of promotions. We like to be 3-4 months ahead on our stock levels. That way we can fully support and execute them. So I think we'll always continue to be really heavy on flagships. That being said, iPhone 7s we carried, 32 probably still carrying them at the time you guys are going to be seeing this video. The S8 is going to hang around a little bit when the S9 comes, but we want to create that really good customer experience where when a customer comes in looking for the newest, coolest one that we have the most accessories for, that we can hopefully have those in stock for you guys, as opposed to tying up inventory dollars in some devices that are definitely dwindling away. So
great. So that very clear, definitely not going to advance the inventory model on older age, kind of end of life models. We're just going to keep moving with the flagships.
Yep, absolutely. That's not saying that we're not going to stock any of them, but typically once that new model's out, we're going to get pretty limited there, so we can put our resources into the flagship devices.
Okay, mobile point of sale aging. The store leader said the iPads that are not iPad Air or newer are very laggy and should be looked at. What do you think of that? Didn't we just buy a bunch of iPads?
We bought a bunch of iPads, so this worked out really well. Kind of when this comment was going on, we knew that RQ Mobile was coming. We actually rolled it out in Lakeville, that same thing. So Fit Team really got in front of this one. We're starting to update all of our iPads. We're also finding out that some of the iPads we are carrying have I think it's some kind of update. Either it's an OMNI update, a Java update, something that's going to make them not work. Probably come next June or July when that update comes. So there's going to be probably 75 to 80 new iPads going out into the field this summer. So we're ready for that. But those ones that are really anything before the Air 2 will be replaced within the next 6 months.
Okay. And we can maybe rip through a few of these pretty quickly. There was complaints about a dead demo station and not having a demo station that was working properly on the sales floor, therefore creating a bad experience for the consumer.
Sure. I do know that the Fit Team has made a trip to that specific store to get everything squared away on that one. Again, guys, if there are lagging ticket issues out there, anything like that, continue to communicate. Don't be afraid to respond to those tickets. And just I'll kind of maybe say this one time on this question so I don't have to necessarily repeat it for you guys over and over again. We did add a staff member in the fit department. We've added two staff members in the inventory department. We've added another HR team member, kind of all since this has been going on. So there is going to be more support out there as well, where there's more dedicated time on those tickets. So hopefully less things will slip through the cracks or take a day or two longer than they might need to.
Yeah, and I think you would want any employee, if they're bringing an issue through the Happy Fox ticketing system at BeMobile, that if it's a customer-facing problem, we would want you to be denoting that so that the Fit Team sees, hey, we've got something that's affecting customer experience. We really need to get on top of this. And if you're not seeing some resolution, everybody will drop the ball occasionally. We want to hold ourselves accountable, just like we want you guys to hold your teams accountable, but certainly push us if you don't see something getting resolved in time that you would imagine it should be. Push us, and we appreciate that. So, number 7, island stores, maybe just a different level of support from some of the stores in North Dakota versus way out in the field. Talk to us about island stores.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we are based in Grand Forks, North Dakota, which we know is not close to anything. That being said, we really don't want any island stores out there. I mean, if you're feeling like you're being either getting less, what would be the right word? Maybe access to our corporate team because you're out either in Wisconsin, Iowa, South Dakota. Make sure that's getting to your district leader. One thing that we did this year is we have split the company into 2 regions. So we have Brian Feggi obviously overseeing the North region, Jason Princeton overseeing the South region. Part of that was when that acquisition came up that we were really we did not want it to turn into, we're going to go get 20 new stores following the BeMobile way, and we're just going to see what happens to our Wisconsin and Iowa stores and hope they do okay. Jason's really taken a lot of ownership down in the South region. Brian's taking a lot of ownership up in the North region, again, speaking to that accountability just to make sure that, we're 58 stores getting the same amount of attention. Hopefully the only thing with geography is, our store visits are a little bit longer trip for Brady, Tracy, Jonathan, Brian, Jason, myself. But we really don't want any island stores out there by any means. So if you don't feel like you're getting the support, please get that to your district leader, get that to Jason or Brian. That way it ultimately gets to us so we can figure out what's going on.
Sure. That's great, Jake. I appreciate that. I know it's hard. We're a small company, a small family-owned company based over a huge geography, and I appreciate you talking to that, and I think Jason has really done a great job, and I applaud your leadership in actually taking that step and splitting the company into 2 regions so that it has dedicated leadership closer to your guys' stores. So I think that's really good. And hey, Grand Forks, it is where our corporate headquarters is. There's several different reasons, one of which is it's supposed to be a balmy 27 below zero on Christmas Day. So Santa Claus, my son Eddie was asking me this morning, Dad, what's it like flying in the sleigh when it's 27 below zero? Was a conversation we had at the morning coffee in the Hampton household. So
what'd you say?
I said he's going to wear nice, those face masks that have while we went into a little bit more of a description as to what happens as you're breathing through a face mask when it's so cold and it starts to icicle up, and the next thing you know, you've got the kind of beard has got all the icicles. So
I like that.
We took it the whole way. Yeah, it was. I won't go into any more details. So Eddie is detailed. So signage, number 8. Kelvin was questioning about whether or not to add additional signage to help making locations feel more specific and denoted would maybe be a different word, but adding signage, or if a store leader has some recommendations as to way they could improve their signage to help the consumer see where they're at. And is that kind of a good example?
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, signage in general, it's been a really exciting year on that front. I think, most of the doors at this point, I'd say at least over half, depending on when this comes out, will have brand new Verizon logo signage. Those of you that have got the new logo signs, big, bright, white lettering on the building, that way that doesn't get lost in strip malls, anything like that. So signage is something I know we're very passionate about. The Fit team is. I mean, they're aggressive at getting as much signage in as many spots, as big and as bright as possible. So it's been really fun to see some stores get that. One challenge we do face throughout that process a little bit is Verizon has to say it needs to look like this. The landlord has to say it needs to look like this. But guys, we're dedicated to spending money on signage because we need people seeing our signs so they can walk into our doors.
Yeah, and I think we've tried to always stay aggressive, and I can't agree more. The new sign from Verizon is so awesome, and it's bright, large. I mean, it's amazing how far you can see that from. So that's neat. But if you guys as store leaders say, hey, you know what, the back of our building, if it had a sign, then it would be viewed from this other business. Right? And if that's important, we want to hear those suggestions from you guys because we can take those to Verizon. They may or may not say yes or no, and then the landlord may or may not say yes or no, but we can, of course, ask on your behalf, so certainly always be looking for ways to improve signage. And then also, please, urgent fit tickets. If a sign is out, if there's one letter out, if the sign's not coming on and it's dark, daylight savings time, there's nothing that kind of irritates me more than driving down the road and it's dark out and our Verizon sign is dark. So certainly be aware of that and ask your teams to be aware of that. So thank you for that. This was a suggestion on wireless charging demos. I think the idea was someone in the South Dakota region had said, wireless charging is getting more popular, and certainly with the Samsung and now with the Apple. Could we have demo stations at our cash wrap? So what was the thought there?
Yeah, this was an awesome suggestion. Something I think we had maybe thought about, but just it's always been one of those things that was either 4th or 5th on the list, not 1st or 2nd. So this is a really good example of something that this breakout specifically was. Oh yeah, let's move on that deal. Inventory team went and talked to a vendor, and we actually not only were able to get these in every store, but we were able to get them for free. So shout out to Doug, Stephanie for being able to line that up. Also, I think it was Chad Mitchell Bird who had made the comment that, hey, we should have these in every store. So now we should have 116 of them.
Great.
Around, so
awesome. Number 10, germ killing oven, a device that you could put in your store. The customer would put their phone in it for 5 minutes, kills all the germs. Open up time for interactions with customers was a suggestion from South Dakota again.
Yeah, no, this from a pure just concept standpoint, getting the phone out of the customer's hand and being able to talk to them for 5 extra minutes in an interaction is tremendous. We've looked at what the germ killing oven, the specific models. I don't think we're necessarily going to go that route. But to me, this is kind of a good deal as we're getting into Q1 and Q2 where it's not as crazy as Q4 to almost in a team selling component. Hey, want me to go wipe this down either with some Tectonic screen cleaner or let me go, just something like that where I think you can get that same time you're looking for and hopefully make it still feel like a really good customer experience. And then just a little bit of the risk with the taking their phone and putting it in something that is called oven or what it does. I don't think we're ready to go that route, but love the idea of getting it out.
So no germ killing ovens, but continue to look for ways to make the customer feel like you're taking care of their device through the screen cleaners and stuff like that. We had heard of another agent that actually does a phone spa. When a customer walks in, they wipe it down, clean it up, blow it up, get everything all set, and I thought that's a great suggestion. So number 11, Datascape post-pay fee. Frustration around having to charge a fee when the corporate stores do not do it. Heard this one before.
Yes, this one, guys. This is for ever since I've been here, which is about 8 years now. Always been one of those deals that has felt different. We do actually have to pay a fee to make those or to take those payments in our store. It's not like we're taking $3 just to pad our gross profit or anything. We actually have a fee that goes alongside that. Plus, Verizon just comes out and sweeps it right away. So it's definitely a pain point. We are consistently charging it in all stores at this point. We have taken it to Verizon leadership as well to see what can be done as part of this customer experience trial. For now, we're kind of going to have to stay status quo. I know it's not necessarily fun. If you do get that customer, when you go to a bank, there's transfer fees that come with that. I mean, that's essentially what we're doing. It's a cash transfer. Where they would not have to pay that fee is, they can come into our store all day. If they have a credit card, a debit card, we can get on their My Verizon. We can make that payment on the account. They don't have the fee. You're still doing the service. I wouldn't necessarily say, hey, all you have to do is call in or all you have to do is go to this site and do it yourself, because I think they want to come into their store or our store. They want to make sure that payment's getting applied. I think if we take care of them that way, that's one way to avoid the fee. We'll keep being as loud as we can with Datascape being that third party with Verizon to try and hopefully get to a point where one day we don't have to charge a $3 fee, but ultimately that's where it's coming from. And as a leadership team, we decided to continue doing that for the near term for sure.
Actually, the last 2 years we've had a Verizon agent fair in Denver with the North Central market and then one in Chicago. And both of the ones in Denver where our relationship with BeMobile really kind of bases, I did bring up in the general session the idea that agents should have those payment machines in the store. I just think that would be a great seamless experience for the consumer that still wants to pay cash. I think you're right, Jake. Encourage them to go online, in our store, of course, and use a credit card or a debit card. But Verizon was not heading down the direction of putting payment machines in our stores at this point. So good clarity there. I think you're exactly right. When we have to pay a fee, it's not a profit center, guys. It's the last thing we would want you to think as we're trying to figure out how to make profit with a Datascape fee. But if we're getting charged it, we kind of have to pass it on to the consumer in that case. So we'll continue to look at it, but for now, at least every store is consistently charging Datascape fees. So we had a central air unit. Number 12 looked like central air was looking sketchy. Stores missing a few. So a couple of facility-related items.
Yep, and similar to the one that we had earlier with the demo station, I know a special trip has been made out there. Arrangements have been made. By the time this video is out, everything should have been cleaned up. I think it probably already is. I have it highlighted in my reddish color to just double check, so we'll follow up on that a little bit later. But yeah, Fit did make a special trip. It's on their radar. I'm certain it's fixed at this point.
Great. Number 13, SMB training and portfolio. This was a good one because at the same event where we were meeting with all the store leaders, we also did some SMB training. Chad Fleck actually was on stage for about an hour, and then they come into the room with us and they just said the store leaders were feeling under-supported in this area, would like training on discovery, want to partner with chambers to highlight SMB opportunities, Chamber of Commerce's, and want to have good training on the plans that are offered to businesses. So you guys are really looking for more training than even what we were offering. So where are you at on this one, Jake?
Yeah, absolutely. We have some major initiatives coming in Q1, which I'm sure you guys have already heard from the kickoff calls and from your district leaders. But we are going to be launching an SMB webinar in Q1, so make sure you get on that. There will be an LMS that follows that webinar, so everything is going to go out. It's going to be BeMobile specific training, how to position it in our stores, how to talk to customers, every customer really about it, and kind of pick up on those cues. So in addition to the Verizon support, we'll have some actual BeMobile one that Small and Rod will be putting together for us. We also have an annual goal to add an SMB channel in a couple districts this year. So not only will it just be in North Dakota Northeast and North Dakota Southeast anymore, but we're looking at our footprint and where some of those opportunities can be. And then lastly, on our 3-year picture, 3-year vision, we're going to have really dedicated SMB support kind of covering all of our markets. Now, we're not saying that's 58 dedicated reps necessarily. It might be a territory type position. We don't know what it looks like, but it's a huge opportunity, I think, for BeMobile with just all the traditional retail customers we have. If we can start to continue to start grabbing some business accounts and the families with the business accounts. Big area of opportunity in 2018 with a lot of resources ready to go at it. So
good.
We're excited.
Great. Number 14, hiring process, short staffing. Oh, staffing has been a real challenge, but here was an idea was proposed of always having the hiring mentality and adding questions like, are you willing to relocate right to the application, so that if we don't have a store or a position in one market, maybe they're willing to drive, or maybe they're willing to relocate. And where are you at on this one?
Yeah, absolutely. We love this idea. We have not full on implemented it quite yet. We're just trying to figure out where that works best in the process. Is it on the phone screen? We don't necessarily want to scare an applicant away to make them think, okay, I'm applying for this job, but they're already asking me to move. So we're trying to look at whether it's phone screen, interview 1, interview 2. Should it be done in a face-to-face so we can kind of have some of those combos? Should be on the first call. But I do see some form of this question being implemented in 2018. Good. We're just talking about where.
Great suggestion. So yeah, I think the hiring process and the short staffing has been a challenge this year, and I can't tell you guys how much appreciation I have for all the dedication and hard work around the staffing levels. It's been a hard one. I think the idea of is a person willing to move, that's something we should be asking, and we'll figure out how to do it. So thank you for the suggestion. But more importantly, guys, thank you so much for really just the amazing adaptability you guys do. So next issue, number 16, store leader laptop. Oh, I didn't mean to skip 15. It was the Libre office, the one we talked about first, because I'm so excited about that one.
Oh, absolutely.
But number 16, store leader laptops and B2B laptops. Some store leaders stated they didn't have laptops. Questions also came up for business representatives. Where are you at on this one?
Yeah, absolutely. The FIT team reviewed this. We looked at everything that would go into this. As our experience moves more mobile, we've determined that store leaders, we will not be doing laptops going forward. We'll continue to do laptops for B2B reps as they're typically traveling around doing deals at different businesses and things of that nature. But as our experience goes more mobile, RQ Mobile, our mobile point of sale, we think can fill that void that the store leader laptop has had in the past. So we are moving away from store leader laptops.
Good. Number 17, CEF upload. What was this? There was a discussion around the difficulty of uploading the CEF. Mentioned that RQ Mobile will this make it easier? That was a suggestion. Whatever happened on that?
Yeah, absolutely. As of Q1, we have some major initiatives. Both Jason and Brian have a rock to get 85% CEF utilization. One big way in how we're going to try and get there is making it easier to do it. So in Q4, the FIT team, they did launch the Scan to Google Drive feature, which basically got each of your stores a dedicated Google Drive for you to upload in. I know we're now working on getting that so you can just click into it and upload it directly into RQ. So that should be getting a lot easier. Unfortunately, RQ Mobile does not have the functionality to upload documents. We're going to continue to push them every time we get on a call with them to get that into mobile, because if we can just take a picture of it and upload it, that seems the easiest. Unfortunately, that's not there, so we've used Google Drive to hopefully make it a lot easier for you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, and actually that kind of was a sub-issue on that same one, was the idea of wanting to be able to scan right to the Google Drives, and I think I just heard you say that's now possible in the stores.
Yes, absolutely. Every store has it. Every store's computer should have a mapped folder to it.
And so if it doesn't, if for some reason you're having challenges,
say it.
Well,
okay. You're there.
Send an email to effit@bemobile.com. I mean fit.
Fit.
Yes.
Tracy,
fit.
It is fit@bemobile.com.
Sorry, Tracy. It's kind of fun though, isn't it?
Here, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Number 18, S8. Oh, this was a good suggestion. Galaxy S8s for all store leaders. They would like S8s.
Yes, that was what was stated in there, which I think it was Derek Kuntz, our district leader up in North Dakota Northeast, actually mentioned that one. We are not going to move forward with S8s for all store leaders, unfortunately. How this discussion came up, though, I do want to give Garrett in Devils Lake a shout out. He uses Bixby to run his entire life. Deposits get sent to deposits at BeMobile.com. He's got all kinds. I think he said he reads the newspaper in the shower.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which it's kind of weird, but it's really cool that you can do it. He's got a waterproof case. Like, it doesn't sound like he's gonna get zapped or anything crazy. So, so Garrett, that's awesome that you've been able to figure that out, guys. The more you can use those devices to help you, we're all about it. Unfortunately, we're not at a point where we can get S8s into all stores yet. So, okay.
Little boot. I mean, what? Really? I mean, that
the
was
S9s should be coming any minute. You don't want an S8 right now anyway.
They'd probably be suggesting that we get them S9s if that's coming soon.
We'll keep that on our VTO.
Okay.
I like that.
Sorry. Number 19, iTunes updates. OMNI, frustration around having to submit tickets when iTunes updates are taking place. Would like to see the Fit team get more proactive on this. That was a suggestion.
Yeah, so this was actually an existing rock when we were sitting in Lakeville. This was already on Jonathan's radar to get across the finish line. So he did complete it in Q4, and now we should be implementing it kind of throughout 2018. So there's basically a dedicated schedule for iTunes, OMNI, Java, RQ. Anytime they see those updates, they're going to try and proactively get out there and get those taken care of for you guys.
Great. That was a great suggestion. I don't know if we knew the pain point that was, and if we're more proactive on it, that's awesome.
Yep.
Jake, next issue kind of on the list here. Number 20, Troubleshooting Wizard, warranty replacement, the carryover conversation on how to expedite this process with Core.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason Gauthier spoke to this actually at our event in front of all you guys. I know this. There were a couple questions back and forth on this, and it's a pain point for you guys. It's a pain point for the call centers. It's kind of one of those deals where no different. How we have our sales core process, customer service core process. You know, the call centers, they have to go through certain things. They have stats. So it's this kind of an unfortunate dynamic we have to deal with. So we've raised it with Gauthier. He's looking at, ways that everything can be more fluid between the retail channel and the indirect channel. So that's where it's at now. It's on our radar, guys. Thank you for, again, bringing the issue up. I know he appreciated it when the question came up as well. So
sure. 21, SIM cards. There was confusion on whether to charge for them, write them off, how to write them off. There was frustration from you guys on Core just saying to the customer to give them away. Where did we get to on this?
Yeah, this has not ever been effectively communicated, guys. So we will have a communicated solution in Q1 of 2018. We're going to want to kind of get through some of the noise that comes with Q4. I know there's been a lot of calls, webinars. So rather than just throwing another system change in there, we did table it till Q1, but we will get a solution on SIM cards early in 2018.
Henceforth, the yellow rather than the green or the red at this point. It's tabled, but we will still be looking at it.
Yep, absolutely.
Great. So good. Thank you for the suggestion. Pricing discrepancies. Number 22, pricing discrepancies between Verizon and BeMobile. Frustration around corporate Verizon telling a customer a different price in our store being surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a system in place. Unfortunately, device payment has come along, which has really lessened, I think, the amount of differences between our stores and corporate stores. I mean, iPhones, we can't move our pricing on. The S9s, all kind of those flagship current devices. I mean, we're always, if not exactly the same, we're within $1 or $2 on a monthly device payment deal. So if there is something that's egregiously like, whoa, why are we charging the customer $20 a month more on something than Verizon? Get that on our radar, but the inventory team, they're checking prices consistently. We're always trying to, be offering the same price the customer can get online.
Okay, thank you. Number 23, hiring process communication. A couple store leaders were surprised to be having an interview, and were only given a few days' notice for that interview. So I think this kind of went around the idea of that old spreadsheet that used to be sent out. Where are we at on that deal?
Yeah, absolutely. We did a career plug webinar, so just to peer again, kind of a refresh of training for everyone going into Q4, knowing that there's still a lot of stores that we're hiring, which we alluded to earlier. So that webinar went really well. Tracy did a nice job putting that on together. We've also started been way more diligent, I'd say, about putting notes into the system. Amber German, who used to be a district leader for us, actually joined our happiness team. So she's helping Corbin and Ellen as well on that process. The notes have gotten really just awesome in there. I mean, she was rushing us and Doug on hiring an inventory assistant. She was like, get going, guys, make a decision. So that's been a great help. And then again, we just ask you guys continue to put your schedule in RQ. I mean, that's where they're looking. That's how they know if you're available. So if you have an appointment one morning, try and get that in RQ. That'll prevent some of those backlogs where you get kind of some surprise invites.
And I think I remember a little bit of dialogue that we had at our level 10 meeting on this. We really need to hold the store leaders themselves accountable to making sure that they're communicating. If the HR team is sending you guys an email about an interview, they need to hear back if there's any challenges. But also that idea of the schedule in there, and now the career plug is really got to become your sort of point to find what you need to know about your applicants, where they're at in the process. So the HR team's doing a good job at getting that into there. But if you guys, for some reason, are hesitant on the Career Plug website, that'd be something to work with your district leader team or our HR team so you can get more proficient and always be finding the information they need, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Number 24, Career Plug Educate. Oh, jumping right into Career Plug Education. Not a lot of not very comfortable at navigating Career Plug. One store leader referenced the app, which is easier than the website.
Sure, absolutely. And again, kind of we touched on it in that training. There actually is no Career Plug app for there. However, the site is mobile friendly, and it's clean. I mean, it's nice. It's a nice mobile site. It's not like one of those ghetto weird ones where you don't have a clue and there's like 85-point font going on. It's like a nice app, or excuse me, mobile site that works well too. So there's a mobile option for you guys.
Number 25, inventory challenges. Out of stock, previous year handsets. Kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. Lots of discussion with the markets on needing to do transfer, feeling of never having enough inventory.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of this kind of stemmed around some those bigger business accounts as we continue to move that way. Just I think the communication on both fronts, the inventory team standpoint, and if there's a big deal coming up. I mean, if you know you've got a 20-line deal on the hook that's going to drain you before a weekend, proactively kind of communicating some of that. We are pulling transfer reporting for all districts right now. We did see transfers drop again from Q3 to Q4, so we're going to continue to be more proactive about having a good mix in your stores so you guys don't have to run around and be transferring stuff or worried about when that next shipment's going to come.
Sure. And I think one kind of sub point on that, hard to do, and I think you guys brought this up in Lakeville as well, hard to do inventory modeling when you're doing an acquisition. We had a lot of success right away out of that, and we took kind of a stock inventory model and placed it in the stores. However, we were probably a little slow in some instances getting that adjusted. So we realize that, and we believe we want you guys to be well stocked, and thank you for bringing that up, because we do not want store leaders having to spend their days driving around inventory to other stores. That's not efficient for anybody. So number 26, Liquid Black Ice Plus micro USB levels, frustration about never having enough of these SKUs. Kind of another inventory suggestion.
Yeah, Liquid Black Ice, I think I'll take that one first. I mean, that was a new product for us in Q3, and we weren't exactly sure how it was going to go. Now looking back on it, it's one of those deals that, I mean, we're selling almost as much liquid now as we are traditional glass, so that should have self-corrected. Again, just communicate with us, guys, if you're feeling low on those SKUs. I mean, that's a SKU that can go on any device we have at this point, so I think we're plenty heavy on it, but if you guys are worried about running out, having just come out of Q4, definitely get that on our radar. And then micro USB, again, kind of a similar story. As more and more handsets move away from micro USB, we have kind of conscientiously, I would say, lowered our levels, not necessarily eliminated it, but now there's a lot of Type-C models, there's Lightning models. Micro USB still a definite need because there's a lot of micro USB handsets floating out there. So we'll continue to watch sell-through on that, but if you guys are feeling, that we're missing an opportunity, definitely let us know.
This is kind of random, but I like to throw random ones out there. I just got a new electric toothbrush. You had been a fan of the what do you call that one you've got?
Sonicare?
I got the Sonicare. Do you know what it came with?
What did it come with?
So this one's called the Micro, right?
Yep.
It came with the mini charger.
A mini charger.
Do you remember the old mini? It was like thick. It was like a BlackBerry Pearl type charger.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
the new Sonicare comes out with a mini. So, really random.
Shameless plug. I like it.
Good toothbrush.
Yeah.
So, transfer counts. Proactively look to transfer to determine level adjustments. So I think kind of in line with inventory, they don't want to do transfers. What do you think?
Yeah, kind of the same thing again, guys. We're just we're monitoring them from an inventory standpoint. I think again, the more accurate our levels can be, the less time you guys are in cars moving stuff around, having to send emails up. I mean, we're just going to continue to look at levels, continue to give us good communication. We'll keep working on keeping transfers low.
Okay. Certainly something kind of new. I mean, we now with this recent acquisition, we have more markets with multiple stores in it, and that's a blessing and can be a challenge. I mean, it's really easy to drive across town, but we still don't want them doing that. So,
yep.
Non-sellable stock for DOA number 28. The request to add non-sellable inventory into our mix. Does that sound right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Get that?
So this is something that we have kind of put on our VTO as well, meaning we'll probably take a look at it again. This would be 90 days, so sometime in probably the next 30 to 45 days. There's pros and cons of both systems, how we kind of do accessory returns, and then what this non-sellable feature was that I believe the Cellcom stores had used in the past will do it. So we're kind of weighing those options. Again, haven't made a change at this point. But again, like you alluded to earlier, it's yellow on our sheet, which means it's not going to get lost. We're not saying we're done with it. Just need to continue researching what that would mean for us.
Okay, number 29, Tier 4 compensation. Mr. Bixby himself, Garrett in Devil's Lake, just call him out, would like to better understand it or look for a better opportunity, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Garrett is in store. We're filming in December, crushed it in November, so I think he's got his part figured out. Tier 4 guys, we know there's challenges kind of with the differences between a Tier 1 through 3 pay plan and a Tier 4 pay plan. We are making a modification in 2018, so if it has not been announced yet, stay tuned. It should be coming very soon.
Great. And you know, I can't just, I have to take the opportunity and say that would maybe feel risky to bring up a concern about your pay plan to Jake and myself, 2 leaders in the company. And, you know, overall, guys, we love it. I mean, let us know when you don't like something. We need to hear it. We want feedback from you guys, and I think Jake has been really proactive on that Tier 4, and we heard some serious concerns. We initially put in a plan that we thought was equitable and would work well, and if it's not working well, hey, we want to adjust. So thank you to the store leaders. There were, I think, 3 or 4 that got on the conversation at some point in time, and that could feel threatening, mentioning to the owner that, hey, I don't like the pay plan, but really we want to be able to be honoring of that and say thank you to you guys for letting us know if we're dropping the ball on something. So is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
Home solution options with 5G rollout coming in stores would like to get on the front end of the non-cellular connected devices, maybe Nest, Alexa, Chromecast, Google Home.
Yeah, just the foresight, I think, of this, whatever it would be, recommendation was tremendous. I can't remember exactly who said it, but we have brought in a few options. I'm going to cheat and read them really quick, but Arlo we did bring in Smart Hub. Hum, the focus on Hum. I mean, Hum is going to be here to stay again, guys. I mean, that was a huge push through Q4. It's remaining a huge push in our company right now in Q1. With 5G coming, I think Verizon's going to push us this way. So we've looked at things like Alexa. We've looked at things like Google Home. We've looked at like Beats from Apple and various different connected Bluetoothy kind of items. So I would say our mix is going to get wider on this really soon, I think, when Verizon starts to talk more and more 5G and that rollout becomes more and more real in our geographical locations. I think we're going to be there, and we want to make sure it's a good solution we can bring in.
Great, thank you. I was listening on CNBC because I just love CNBC radio. You can't really go wrong with talk show radio all day. It said that wearables are so 2016. This is last night as I was driving home from the office. Wearables are so 2016, and 2017 is a year of the smart speaker, is what they're calling it. So they could imagine on the TV, had a little tagline underneath it. So business cards for store leaders. Store leaders would like business cards. Where are we at?
Yeah, store leaders, they should have always had access to business cards. So I think we might have dropped the ball on communication on that at some point. But if you do need business cards, go ahead and send a ticket in. We'll make sure you guys have business cards. That way you can share them out in your communities.
Could they even throw their name on it?
They get their name on it. They can win a free lunch with it. They can hand it out to a bunch of new businesses if you're going around town trying to lift up your SMB numbers.
Yeah. I think the really important thing to know is, guys, it wasn't ever meant to be taken away. We always wanted store leaders to have business cards. Somehow got dropped. I don't know how, but it's through put in a recommend or a request and we'll send them your way.
Yep. Very definitively, though, all of you have access to business cards. Get on your district leaders level, send a ticket, and we'll make sure you guys have business cards. We definitely want everyone to have business cards.
How much do you love going around to the stores once a year and seeing all the desk drawers? You know, you're opening everything up and you see the dusty business cards where like 7 of them out of 500 have been given out.
Ooh, not my favorite. I would say at that point, especially if you see anyone's business card that does not work in your location, you should throw that away before Brady does. I would say at this point.
I think the point of the story, guys, is if you request them, hand them out. Go get out in the community and hand them out. So, coloring books with crayons. This is on our VTO. On our level 10 issue list. The suggestion. One of the store leaders or a couple of them liked the idea of getting some coloring books, BeMobile coloring books with crayons. So where are we at on that deal?
Yeah, just like you said, if it's something we're going to do it really, really well. Marketing team, hands were a little tied in Q4. We had a really awesome Friends and Family, really awesome Black Friday. all the flash sales that led up to Super Saturday, so it was not something we were going to tackle in Q4. It's on our VTO though, and if it's something that we think can add to our experience, it's something we're going to continue to, I think, take a look at. So no progress, I would say, on it yet, but it is not lost again, like some of these other items.
Good. Number 33 out of 48, kid zones, areas for kids to color and play with tablets. Where are we at?
Yeah, so again, kind of the same story there. We're looking at everything. One thing that's kind of exciting, we have seen blueprints of what the next gen design is going to look like, which that's currently we've been doing remodels at our smart stores. Next gen will be out in 2018, so probably that March, April timeframe. Next gen stores actually have a dedicated kid zone spot, so we're going to see what that looks like, what they want out there on that necessarily, and if that's something, that doesn't mean we're going to go do 58 next gen stores next year to get the kid zones in, but we do want the same experience. So if they have an option in one of our stores, we got to find some kind of way to maybe replicate that. So we'll do some research and communicate out what that looks like. But again, not lost, not implementing right now, kind of waiting and seeing where Verizon's going with kid zones.
You know, a little shout out, I think, is probably in order to Ron and Ron Carlson and Cellcom. They had a lot of kid zones in their stores, and Jason Gauthier was always very honoring to suggestions and ideas. I remember there was an idea that BeMobile had implemented, and he liked it enough where then he implemented it in the corporate stores. And so quite possibly that idea of kid zones, now that's coming in the next generation. So that could have been something that was formed right here, and I think it's going well. So.
Absolutely.
Number 34, right?
Yeah.
My goodness gracious, guys. If you're still watching at this point, we love you. We love you. Yes, we do. I could sing a song about how much I love you. Yes, I could. Sorry, 34. This is where I start to flake out.
No, you're there. Start.
We're on the last page. Nicole's like, whoa, Brady's going. It's going to be a crash. Oh, yesterday. Oh, man. So, 34. Heat solution for applying gadget guards. Hair dryers, heat pads, heat guns, or some kind of solution to make the S8 gadget guards stick.
Yes, so we have not necessarily implemented anything on this one yet. We're still looking at, we want to be really conscientious whatever we do. We're not voiding the manufacturer warranty or damaging the device. So we haven't made a change there. Liquid's also become a much larger player, so it seems like the product itself is actually enhanced to where we're seeing less come back, but we have not implemented a heat change in there. And as we're watching what Liquid's doing and what gadget guard in the market is doing on glass in general, we're going to kind of wait and see what S9 looks like before probably doing anything to change on this.
35, XL. There's no love for Libre, Jake, on number 35.
Yeah, I think we hit that one really well.
Did we cover that one?
Yeah, we did that one.
36, store leaders working more than 45 hours, some kind of recognition, possibility to do like additional PTO for working hours in excess of 45.
Yeah, this was I would say creative. It's not, don't want to make it sound disingenuous, but not something we've never necessarily thought of. So we're looking at this with our our employment attorneys, everything like that. There are some challenges that, our store leader position is a salary position. So is it something we can even legally do? We're not sure that we can do that yet either. So we are looking at it. It's in the yellow on our sheet. We're going to keep taking a look at what options might be out there. Guys with short staff stores, I mean, ultimately we want you at 45 hours when you guys are staffed. We know sometimes there are situations that are going to pop up where you might be working 50, 55 hours. Again, thank you guys for your dedication. I think Brady touched on it earlier, but that's not fun. I mean, we want you guys in that 40 to 45 range to us. That's a good work-life balance. One thing I get a little leery of doing is possibly saying, yeah, we'll go work 60 hours so you can get this PTO. We really want you guys at 40 to 45, spending times with your families if you can, or kind of that full-time position. But we're still going to take a look at it. We're going to get you a more concrete answer, but want to, again, just say thank you guys for the work.
Okay. Number 37, hour-based tenure. Could we change our tenure model from calendar to hours clocked for store leaders?
Yeah, so hour-based tenure. This one we have made a determination on. We did find out from our employment attorney that this is something that we just can't effectively do without being discriminatory. So we are not going to be switching to hourly-based tenure for sales partners and store leaders. Unfortunately, we just can't do it and keep it consistent with kind of the size of our footprint.
Okay. 38, traveling sales partner per district, and that idea of having a traveling sales rep to help on stores that are understaffed.
Yeah, we've talked about this. This came up at the Sales and Marketing Quarterly meeting as well as in our breakout with Brady. We talked about it at our annual meeting. We determined In Q1, probably not a lot of opportunity to do this well, so we have put it on our VTO again that we're going to take another look at it to see, is this something that we can do? How would we compensate it? Who would they report to? There's a lot of levels that go with that. So it's on our VTO. We're going to continue to look at it. It's going to pop up with us every 90 days moving forward. So yeah, good feedback again, kind of stemming from that short-staffed staffing model questions that have been out there. We got to kind of look at all these pieces and look them together.
Okay, good. Staffing, suggestion number 39, staffing never feels staffed. What can we do to attract outside talent? Career fairs, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. We hit a lot of sources already. Amber and the happiness team, the HR team, she had a rock in Q4 or ending in Q1. I can't exactly remember the timeline, but she's proactively looking at 5 alternative solutions to possibly recruit. So we're excited to see what that's going to look like. On the Career Plug webinar, Tracy mentioned kind of some of the things we can do in our communities, either if you're out at a restaurant and have a really good experience, or what you guys can kind of be doing on the front end. And then at the district leader level, Colby Cunningham also has a rock that is basically what can we do in store? Is it, handing a card, or, what can we pick up on the sales process? When we're trying to find out where these people are working, are they liking their job? How's it going? What kind of cues we can pick up on? So great suggestion. We have done fairs in the past in certain locations, so if you guys are just beating your heads against the wall trying to find a person to even apply, continue to get that up in your L10. That stuff does get on Tracy's radar. And, I think she did a hiring fair in Litchfield. She's been in Jamestown before. So, yeah, we're always looking to support you guys there.
Okay. Number 40, overstating salaries on job posts. A couple of store leaders frustrated about the Tier 4 pay plan. Didn't feel like the idea, just trying to make sure that posting is accurate.
Yeah, and if anyone out there if they felt they were misled by a posting in the past, we definitely apologize for that. I can speak to probably the system we've had in place, I'd say since maybe Q2 of 2017, but right now every posting that HR posts, actually they come to finance and Dylan says, here is where we're projecting they're going to go, assuming they hit 3 KPIs based on their average available pool for 12 months if we have that data. So we've been really conscientious about trying not to mislead in our job postings. One thing we can never predict is volume and gross and some of that stuff, but I think we keep a wide enough range to where we'd like you guys to really land in that range. And then that's kind of the same number when you're sitting in your training with Dylan, or when a new store leader is, that he gives them face to face.
Okay. 41 out of 48, Indeed buzzwords. Stated that searches manager on when you search for manager on Indeed, our posts don't appear.
Yeah, so we call you guys store leaders, so if you search manager, that doesn't just naturally pop up.
Wow.
HR has made that change. Management does pop up now. Manager does pop up. So great suggestion. Just more. We love our store leader job title. We love our sales partner job title, but if it's hurting us on the recruiting side, someone that's looking for management, if they can't find us, that's bad.
Yeah.
So great feedback.
I think that's a good example of one that was still oversight.
Yep.
Thank you for catching it, and we got to change. So congratulations. CEF on the app. Is there a way to incorporate CEF into the BeMobile app?
Yeah, so what we will probably not be doing is moving CEF into the app. I can't see a scenario where we're going to require a customer at the end of the experience, you have to get this app so we can tell you everything that you need to know about your plan. So I think we'll always keep those two separate. So continue to just utilize the CEF. To me, that one's kind of a non-negotiable. Use that with every single customer. If a customer doesn't want an app on their phone, we're not going to require them to do it. We still expect the CEF form to be part of the sales process, however.
Right. That, and congratulations, I think, is in order to both yourself, the entire leadership team, and all of you guys out there in the field. I mean, we went from low 50s in NPS to right now, year to date, about 65 in NPS, and really have had quite a few months now above 70. So that customer experience form is one of the tools that has helped drive that number, I believe. And certainly your guys' emphasis and focus on the store has resulted in some great numbers. So thank you for that. Jake, did I actually just skip 2?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You did. I didn't want to correct you on camera, so I'm glad you did.
And one's red.
We would have got back to it.
I love it. So adding link from Career Plug and our phone number into the job post give applicants an idea of where any communication would be coming from.
Yes, and this one on camera, I can't speak to say exactly if this has happened yet. If it has not, it is coming. So really, by the time you guys are viewing that, that should be implemented. As of filming, I don't want to lie to a camera. That makes me all kinds of nervous. So I actually don't know on camera right now if we have implemented it. We have discussed it. I'll make sure right when we get out of here.
That's why it's red. You'll look into it.
Yeah, red.
Awesome. Number 43, store leader scheduling. Interviews not falling within the store leader actual schedule.
Yeah, so this again just kind of speaks right back to what we talked about in the webinar earlier. Make sure your schedules are in our queue. That is what the HR team looks at. So as long as that's there, and if you do have a networking event or anything like that, that you're kind of blocking that time off as unavailable, they won't schedule it then during that window.
Okay. We hit CEF on the app.
Yep.
It's not there, right?
Not there.
Okay. But CEF is important. Number 45, network scanning, the ability to scan the CEF directly into the folder that's shared by all.
Yep, done. Should be 58 location Google Drive folders out there.
Done. I like that.
Easy. We'll go quick on that one.
46, uploading the CEF onto the mobile point of sale. Jake, to find out if you can upload documents into RQ Mobile.
Yep, absolutely. Another one I think we had hit in another group earlier, but RQ does not have the functionality. We'll keep being annoying. I mean, we'll keep sending escalations to RQ to try and get that in there.
Okay. Number 47, Adobe fill-in sign. Need this on tablets to make mobile point of sale virtual.
Yeah, so the Adobe fill-in sign is a feature that is on our mobile point of sale tablets. We're looking at ways we can use that functionality more, whether that's signing certain documents. Maybe someday the CEF will be virtual where you can sign it on there, or we'll at least have something like that available. But at this time, we do have the product. It's now how do we make it work to make our experience that much better.
Great. And it's a rock?
No, I do not believe it's a rock.
Okay. Talked about it being a rock, but we're holding off until we can find out the feasibility of it. Yeah, that was what it was. Yeah. Okay. 48 of 48. Oh, get ready for the closing discussion, I guess. So this was a suggestion. District-wide email addresses. This would allow it to scan directly to a shared drive within the district.
Yeah, so I know we have location-specific. I don't think we'll quite be going district-specific. We wouldn't want that to get bogged down where you're seeing CEFs from another district or anything like that. So continue to use your district leaders for kind of any district-wide communication. You do have store-specific Google Drive, so for CEFs and uploads of that nature.
Sure. Jake,
48
thank you.
Yeah,
well, guys, if you guys are still watching, all I can say is a heartfelt thank you. Really, it's been something that has been very important to us to look at how we're communicating. A couple of small spoiler alerts. One of the great things that happened in 2017 was a new PTO plan. We were not excited about our PTO plan. We could feel that frustration from you guys early last year. Tracy hosted a feedback forum for PTO, and 15 random people got on a call, said, hey, do this, do that, change this, change that. We looked at what we could, we found a good plan, and we implemented it. And so, little spoiler alert, Jake is getting ready to host a feedback forum in the next few months where we will be able to get your guys' feedback on how we can communicate better. And so that was one of the ideas on how this came to be, is rather than just dumping emails into your guys' inbox, we'd like to try to figure out other ways to communicate with you. So I know Jake's going to be hosting that feedback forum, asking how you guys want to be communicated with. So please apply to be on a feedback forum and give us your suggestions. Also, we've got a multi-month sales contest coming up for the first time ever where we do not use email at all, which would be super awesome. So guys, if you watched it, great. Give us a thumbs up or something, just to make us feel better, kind of touch our hearts. It's holidays, and we've got this nice background here. So thank you so much for everything you do. I'll let Jake kind of close it out and say a few words. Yeah,
guys, again, I appreciate all the feedback. Know that we do look at feedback. I mean, the face-to-face meeting, 48, I think 30 of them we'd be able to get some kind of progress on. We're going to keep working at that. Satisfaction survey that went out in the fall. You guys should be seeing communication on that really soon as well, if not already. Thank you guys for that feedback. It does get looked at. It is valued. Part of the reason I think we've been able to grow all these years is because we're not sitting up here just thinking we have all the answers. I mean, we look for your feedback, how we can be a better company, and just appreciate everything that you guys bring to the table out there and up in the corporate office as well. So thank you for the opportunity to sit in there.
Yeah, that was great. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time, and so thank you guys to all of you. Thank you for your dedication, the hard work. There's just a tremendous amount of excitement going into 2018, God bless every one of you, and thank you very much.